What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about a few different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. We'll be talking about Gremlins 3. We'll be talking about Welcome to Derry and Urban Legend. Starting off here with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we got a light update on the bidding war situation from Oz Perkins and someone else involved with this bidding war. Oz Perkins was out at Comic-Con and was asked if he'd cast a neurodivergent actor as Leatherface. He said, "My producing partners and we went down a path with Texas Chainsaw. To be honest with you, I don't know what's happening with it, but we certainly were in the conversation for it. What's lovely about these people who own the rights is that they really care about Leatherface. There's a fondness about his character and the idea that he saw bad things when he was younger, and because he is neurodivergent, he has difficulties processing, and that's what turned him into a monster. It goes back to Frankenstein or wherever you want to be with monsters that are usually the misunderstood sensitive type. I think your idea is beautiful. I don't see any reason why not. The rights holders provided us with a guidebook that they had put together. These are the things we think are important. These are the things we'd love to see. These are the things we don't like, so on and so forth. One of the things was Leatherface should never have a love interest. My partners and I were like, well, now you've said it." So those are some nice statements, and he's right. As a performer, if you got it, you just got it. Talent is talent. I think many of us will agree with that. But then last night, or a couple days ago at this point, JT Molnar tweeted this photo. So is he going to be the one attached to bring Leatherface back to us? Do yourself a favor and check out Strange Darling if you haven't already. The way that film is shot and the fact that that movie was quite good, I still think that was like the second or third best movie of the year last year. Very underrated film. But given how he presented that film, very fitting for Texas Chainsaw. I think he would make a wonderful Texas Chainsaw film. I hope it is JT Molnar. I would love to see what he has to offer us when it comes to Leatherface. Now, let's talk about Urban Legend for a second. We got a little Urban Legend update since we know that a new one is on the way. But this is about a tweet that the original director put out looking back on his idea for a sequel to the OG and what's likely happening with this upcoming reboot. He said this in response to a fan. He said, "I appreciate your words of support. I've had a very clear idea for decades about the kind of movie or about the kind of follow-up I'd create to the original movie. It's got nothing to do with internet urban legends, which I think is a somewhat predictable and uninspired way to go. The original worked because those urban legends were known around the world. Even as an Aussie, I hadn't heard most of them. Internet urban legends, creepypasta, etc. don't have the same recognition. Even within the US, these stories don't have the same awareness and impact. Silvio and I did laugh a lot about having used all the best classic urban legends in the screenplay. The only major horror urban legend we didn't dramatize was the kidney heist, but we used the threat that we would in the final act. They shot it to juice up the scares in the sequel." I mean, given that this new film is supposed to be examining a post-digital world, it's not hard for me to believe that he knows a bit more about their intentions and whatever plans they have for this upcoming film and finds it to be all just uninspired. Like I said in the video I made dedicated to the announcement of the Urban Legend reboot, they've probably just dusted off that script from 2020 and plan to update it. So if that's what he's talking about, because again, I just find his comments to be quite interesting. He has to know something. He has to have been in contact with the studio or something. He might not know anything, but I just find that hard to believe. I think all they've done is dusted off that 2020 screenplay, and that had a lot to do with creepypasta-like stuff, and it doesn't sound like he's too impressed. I am a bit curious to know what his idea would have been for an Urban Legend sequel, since he's saying it had nothing to do with exploring creepypasta-like things, which is what we're probably going to get with this reboot. I still think that the reboot should have nothing to do with that original cast. I think this is one of the many IPs that don't need to do that. The way this movie is concocted, I don't think even warrants bringing them back all these years later. At best, Reese. I'll give you a pass for Reese. Everything else, that's just us being diehard lovers of the film and wanting to see these characters again when it's really not necessary. Now, let's talk about Welcome to Derry. The Welcome to Derry trailer has been released online, and let me just say, after watching it all, I love how the trailer hyped up the source of what's causing the shenanigans in Derry, which we know is Pennywise, but we never really see Bill Skarsgård in full makeup. It's mostly just silhouette shots. Genius choice for people who are not familiar with the character and for fans who have wanted to see more of this universe since It Chapter 2 released back in 2019. I'm sure promotional stills will probably ruin this, but I don't want to see Pennywise until this show drops. And the way they've kept the look even though we kind of already know what it looks like based off of those first two Andy Muschietti films. The way they're keeping it shrouded in darkness and intrigue and mystique, like building up the mystique by not showing us Bill in the full makeup, I love all of that. The little laugh from Skarsgård was a nice touch as well. The trailer confirms that it's dropping in October, but we don't have a specific date. It's one of the most effective trailers I've seen all year, honestly. They released a clip, I think at Comic-Con, showed the first 10 minutes of a boy getting abducted. If you want to look at all the details on that, you can search it on Google about footage that was shown from Welcome to Derry at Comic-Con. Now let's talk about Gremlins 3. Zach Gilligan, who we know played Billy in Gremlins 1 and Gremlins 2, was at a con recently or some sort of event, but Comic Movie DB on TikTok, shout out to you, shared a clip of him announcing that they've come up with a script for Gremlins 3. Warner's is really interested in doing it, and they are waiting for Steven Spielberg to approve it. There was also mention of Beetlejuice 2 being successful, being what inspired this decision to move forward with Gremlins 3. I'm going to say the same thing everyone else is saying. Stick to puppets and little CGI use. But it's probably like talking to a brick wall with a request like that these days. Hollywood is going to do what they want to do. They're going to Hollywood. CGI is probably what we're going to get. Gremlins seems like the perfect franchise to explore a post-pandemic society. Gizmo could be seen as a threat to humanity, and their efforts to eliminate him causes the very thing they wanted to avoid. It can be a commentary on how humans fail to realize a lot of our problems are avoidable if we mind our business and let nature run its course. That's an idea I brought up in my solo video dedicated to Gremlins 3 many months ago, and I still stand by that today. I think exploring a post-pandemic world with this franchise would be ideal. I just think that makes the most sense. With a character like Gizmo, I feel like that could be a effective narrative to comment on if Gizmo is in fact a detriment to society, and just tapping into the paranoia post-pandemic. And it could be a very compelling screenplay if it's written correctly. But let me know what you guys think about all of this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. In the description, I have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you would like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.